But now things have gone from bad to horrible and worse and worse and worse. And the bottom literally fell out in his life. Famine was upon the land. His eldest son was being held in Egypt. And the mysterious ruler demanded that his youngest son be brought to him. It was too much for an old man to bear. All of his years of serving God seemed to have brought nothing but poverty and grief. Have you ever been there? I know some of you are too holy to acknowledge it or admit it, but have you ever been there where you felt like all of my years of service, all of my years of marching in the army of the Lord, all of my years of sacrifice have brought nothing to me except grief and poverty. I thought I'd be a lot farther down the road than I am right now. I never thought I'd have to go through some of the stuff that I went through. And even though I've held on and tried to believe God and resist doubt, it seems like there is no light at the end of the tunnel. It seems like there is no hope that things are ever going to improve. And I feel like the bottom's falling out and everything's caving in all around me.
Yes.
See, you're like Jacob. Jacob waited and waited, but the famine continued. And finally, in desperation, he sent his sons to Egypt to buy more grain. And the days had dragged by, and he wondered if he would live to ever see his sons again. Some of you that are here today have waited and waited and waited. You prayed and prayed and prayed. You're kind of in a famine. When you think there's light at the end of the tunnel and that stuff, and you look around and you think stuff's dying. You feel like, your church is dying. Powerful key relationships that you have are dying. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly how Jacob felt. And so whenever he did see the wagons roll up, you know what I'm saying? When he sees, the caravan coming down the road and wagons loaded down with the wealth of Egypt, he's thinking to himself, this has got to be too good to be true. And then on top of that, here come his sons. Because you know the story, and I don't have time to tell it all, but he finally agreed to let Benjamin go back because he didn't want to leave Simeon stranded there. So Benjamin went back. Joseph put on an elaborate skit. Look, Hollywood ain't got nothing on the performance that Joseph put on. Joseph would have won 10 Oscars, ladies and gentlemen. Joseph would have won 33 Golden Globe Awards. That dude acted like there was no tomorrow. He put on this illustrious show. He let those jokers think he was going to let them go. Again, with Benjamin and Simeon. And then he slipped a silver cup, his cup, in Benjamin's bag. And, here they come. Then he sends his soldiers to chase them down. They find the cup in Benjamin's bag. They say, Joseph says, bring him back. I'm going to kill him. These guys are like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And then Joseph revealed himself. They said, this is Joseph. Come on. They didn't recognize him. It would have been like 13 or 15 or some odd years later. But when he revealed himself, then they said, no, we know Egyptians don't do that. That's a covenant with God. Joseph's really alive. And so Joseph said, man, go back home. And when you go back home, I want to send you back with the wealth of Egypt weighing down your wagons. So I want you to go back and get my father and bring him to me and tell him all his hopes, all his dreams, all his desires are about to come true. Can you imagine what Jacob felt like when he sees wagons laden down with the wealth of Egypt come rolling up into his crib? Can you imagine what Jacob felt like when his sons are screaming, Joseph is alive, Joseph is alive? Jacob thought that it was too good to be true, ladies and gentlemen. But this is the thing that I love about God. God is not a man that he can lie. And when he says something, he's going to do it. And you and I don't have to know how he's going to do it or when he's going to do it. We don't even have to be let in on the details of how it's going to take place. We just got to come to the place that we know our wagons are coming. They may not come today. They may not come tomorrow. They might not come next week. But then again, maybe they will. You just never know. All you've got to know is they're coming. They're coming.